Right, peak week is here. The first peak week is going down. We are 7 days out, people. 7 days goddamn out from the first show. So obviously the first show being next Sunday. Today is Sunday, I'm filming this on a Sunday. So this video is going to be the first 3 days of peak week pretty much condensed into one. Not going to take you through like a full day in life, full day of eating. Conditioning, go over. First of all, talk quite a bit over peak week in general. What is peak week? You know what I'm saying? What is the plan going forward for this week? So yeah, that is where we're at. 7 days out. So let's get into it. So first of all, the plan for peak week. Obviously, if you watched my last video as well, if you're not, go watch that. Kind of going over the situation that we've had this past week, that little bump in the road, shall we say, with kind of digestion issues. We're pretty much back to 100% right now. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. But digestion, bloating, everything's going down well, which is super, super good. So we're going into peak week feeling good and ready, which I'm very, very excited for. So yeah, first show, PCA Naturals 3, I'll be competing as a junior, obviously be a teen. This is simply just a warm-up show as well. So I've got 3 more shows planned. Might do some more as well, who knows? Maybe some interesting international ones if it's on the cards. But yeah, got that. That'll be my warm-up show, PCA 3, and I'm still 8 weeks out from my main show, which is like we've got time. We've got time. I'm pretty happy with the condition that we are going to bring to this first warm-up show. So I'll throw up some shots. This was yesterday's shot. So this was first upper body session in the whole week, obviously due to being literally bedbound a few days before. And we dropped like over a kilo this week, which obviously isn't ideal going into peak week, but it is what it is, playing the cards that we have been dealt. But yes, so today, 7 days out, today's a rest day. So we have got a little bit of extra carbs going in today. So we have got, what is that, like 115 grams of extra carbs going in today. So we're running training day carbs on rest days. So today's macros will be 220 grams of protein, 285 carb, and 50 grams of fat. 8 to 10k steps, zero cardio, and usual salt, subs, and water is the plan for today. So the rough plan for the week. So with peak week in general, everything is subject to change. It's a case of taking it a day at a time. If your coach has your peak week planned out, the full week planned, that is a major red flag, and you're not going to be most likely you're not going to be bringing the best look to stage, because it should be a case of taking it day by day and making the necessary adjustments. But this is a rough plan for the week. Once again, subject to change every single day. So training day carbs today, nothing drastic at all. Slowly starting to drop fatigue and slightly increase fullness at the start of peak week. Then we will look to do that until Wednesday or so, rough guide. So today's Sunday, so over the next Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, just slight increase in carbs, dropping off fatigue, lower expenditure, no cardio. So, and then from there, once we've done that, we'll have 1 to 2 days of higher food at like 500 grams of carbs plus, which is the most food I've will prep. You know what I'm saying? I'll get that like filmed for the full day of eating. For here, once again, I'm pretty much gonna be documenting every single day of this peak week, even if it is like 5 minutes just talking over my day. Like I will be documenting it all in here. Which I'm excited for. So yeah, that is the rough plan there. And then ideally filling up well and even possibly slightly spilling over on that Friday or Saturday. And also we're competing on a Sunday. So with that, we'll lower the food a little, most likely on the second half of the Saturday. And then look to wake up a good chunk sharper, drier, and while still holding that fullness that was spent from the last few days of loading. So once again, all a rough idea, subject to change. This could all change tomorrow, or it could be pretty similar to this 3 weeks. So that's a rough plan going forward with this week. Now, peak week in general. What is peak week? Now, people have a very kind of misunderstanding when it comes to peak week. Like, peak week is not a magic week. If you're not in condition, you're not gonna, look incredibly much different, better. It's a case of, first of all, when going into peak week, you need to make sure that you're in condition. You cannot peak fat. It is that simple. So first of all, that's what you need to realise is peak week is not a magic week. It's a case of simply just getting 1% better, finding the look. So when it comes to peak week, obviously ideally having past data, using the data that you've had from refeeds, maybe even if you've had time to have a practice peak, know how your body responds to certain stuff, adding in carbs, etc. How your your PM weight looks, and when you wake up, what's the difference in weight, stuff like this, like peak week tracker. Over the next few days, I'll have my peak week tracker up in the sheet, so I can kind of show you that and kind of go over that as well. But yeah, so peak week is not a magic week. You need to be in condition. It's that simple. You can't peak fat, and it's a case of literally getting 1% better. Like, what you'll notice with some people when they compete is they'll look amazing 1 week out, and they'll look maybe even better 1 week after. But the day of the show, they don't bring their best package to stage, because it's so easy. It's very easily done to get that 10% worse, trying to get that 10% better. So it's almost a case of just slowly being almost not safe, but like not doing anything stupid. Like, it's hard if you're in condition, you look good, to ruin yourself in peak week. It's really hard. So the case of doing little things here and there, as I can discuss with the plan going forward, you can kind of see how a rough peak week is kind of planned out, and also I'm going to be taking you through that. So yeah, that is that. And what we want to do, as I kind of said there, is find the look. So what is your best look? Now, when it comes to a bodybuilding stage, you're getting judged on the whole package. You're not just getting judged on the amount of muscle you have. You're not just getting judged on the condition you're bringing. It's your package as a whole. So for some people, their best package. So how I think about it is like a U curve. So right here we have condition. Right here we have fullness, and usually right in the middle of that U curve is where you're going to look the best. Now, it's very person dependent. Some people might be their best look might be like here on the curve. So when they're slightly spilled over, they might sacrifice a little bit of condition to get that extra bit of fullness. But that's where their package, their look as a whole, will look the best. It's a case of the client or you finding that look in peak week, or once again, if you've had an opportunity have a trial peak week, or past peak weeks, past data. Obviously, this is my first peak week, so we don't have that luxury. But this is why we're doing the warm-up show, to have this luxury, to have all of this data going into the main shows. So yeah, hopefully that summed up a lot regarding peak week in general, and kind of what it entails, what the plan for this week going forward is. So yeah, got a little bit extra food going in today on recipe, which is always lovely. Literally all I'm doing is a little bit more sourdough and a little bit more rice. That is goddamn it. That is all your higher days on prep should really look like. It's just using the exact same food, just one of it. So that is the plan for today. And yeah, I'll most likely see you tomorrow for day 2 of peak week. We'll be 6 days out. So I'm going to get all this food in today, do the plan that I've just kind of mentioned, and then tomorrow I'll update you on how today was and the plan for tomorrow. So I shall see you when we are 6 days out and day 2 of peak week. Let's get it. Right, it is the following day. We are 6 days out as of today, and as you can probably see, I've just wrapped up a session. Literally right outside the gym. Gonna go over how yesterday went, the plans for today, and just complete the milestone. Like, that was the last leg session until show number 1. And like during the session, like, I was just like reflecting a lot. Like, I do that a lot. I like to reflect, like be present in the moment. Really, I like to journal as well. This is also where the YouTube started, on my phone, on this exact parking spot right outside the gym. So if you follow along since then, you're a real one before prep started. But yeah, I was just doing a lot of reflecting, like, on the journey itself, because at the end of the day, that is why we do it. Like, the stage is it's cool to have that goal, but at the end of the day, that is simply just a byproduct of loving the daily process, the training especially. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that session I was just reflecting a lot on just how far I've come. Like, like the stage is less than a week away. Like, what? Like, it seems crazy to even like think that and say it out loud. It doesn't even feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just cracking on daily. But yeah, loving every goddamn second of this prep. And yeah, 6 days out. So yesterday was super successful. Obviously we went over the rough plans for the week going ahead. And so the plan for training this week as well. So obviously, as I just discussed, today is Monday, so we're officially at the officially entered show day week, which is very, very exciting. So today was the last leg session, as I said. That was D volume, so 50% reduction in volume, and then 2 to 3 reps in reserve. So pretty boring session, but still going in, like the session still has a purpose. Like I'm not just going through the motion. I'm still going in, being aggressive and stuff. But literally what I did was I just like pulled back like 5 kilos per set, and then just match reps from like the previous week pretty much, and that was like about 2 to 3 reps in reserve. So that was good. So yeah, today Monday, legs, last leg session, D volume, 2 to 3 reps in reserve. Push tomorrow, Tuesday, D volume, 2 to 3 reps in reserve. Pull Wednesday, D volume, 2 to 3 reps in reserve. And you can see the theme here. And then we'll rest, usual Thursday rest day. And then Friday we'll usually have lower, but that will just be a practice pump up session, upper. So upper pump session. And then Saturday we'll be traveling down to the show. That'll be a rest day. That'll be the day before the show. And then Sunday is show day. So that's the plan of action for peak week, training in peak week. And yeah, hopefully that sums up that. But yesterday we have woke up 0.3 kg heavier. Obviously, after rest days, I usually am up a little bit of weight, but we even ran higher carbs as I discussed. We did 285 carb yesterday, woke up 0.3 kg heavier, lovely stuff, and the look is much better. So I'll throw up today's fastest shots here. A much sharper, fuller, just tighter look in general. And once again, the physique is just pretty much back to life now. And the digestion issues I was having, obviously we went over that in last YouTube video. It's just touch wood. Is there wood here? I don't think there is wood, but touch wood. We're back to normal. We're back to normal. Bowel movements are back to normal. You know what I'm saying? Which is good, very good, and just in time for peak week to begin. Which is really good and just takes that little bit of ease off my mind. You know what I'm saying? Obviously during peak week you want to be low stress, chill out. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we are. So, yeah, got that going on. And then, yeah, woke up 0.3 kg heavier, which I'm very happy with. Look is so much better. As you can kind of see, I also throw up today's leg clips as well, so you're not just looking at me yapping. You can see some training footage from today, the last leg session before show number 1. I'll put that up now. So yeah, today, the plan of action for today is we're running pretty much like a usually mini high day, so more carbs going on today. Second day of peak week, more carbs going in once again. Like as I said, we're running that kind of linear / backload approach. So literally just tapering up food, lower expenditure, doing 8k steps today compared to the usual 12k steps. No cardio, just taper down expenditure, bit more food pretty much most days. But obviously it is just a case of checking in with Josh every single morning. He gives me instructions, and just assessing how much food we're going to go in that day pretty much. I'm also weighing myself 3 times per day now. So I brought my scales to the gym, weighed myself right after the session, also weighed myself fasted, then I'll weigh myself before bed as well, which is really good information to have, especially going into show day. Like just knowing the weight drop from the night to the morning is really good data to have, for like adjusting, assessing the look one day out and on show day, of course. So yeah, got that going on, just data, peak week data, tracking all of that. Today, food wise, we are running 200 protein, 400 carb, and 50 fat. So baseline training day diet is 220 protein, 285 carb, and 45 fat. So bringing the protein down a touch, bringing the carbs up, and bringing the fats up a touch as well. Reason for all this, so once again, carbs is going to be the main player in peak week. So, people have a lot of kind of stereotypes regarding peak week, like, water manipulation, water cuts. First of all, do not do like, extreme water cuts. Water cuts are extremely stupid. And you should always, pretty much like throughout peak week, my water will be the exact same as it was before. One day out, show day, we'll manipulate it a little bit, but that is a little 1%. And glycogen, carbs, once again, is going to be the main player, the main variable of peak week loading, via carbohydrates. Okay, so carbohydrates is the main player in this peak week, and that's exactly what we're going to be loading with. So yeah, 400 carbs going today, compared to the usual 285, so a decent little chunk more today. And once again, like my body's very simple, very simple. It's not complex at all. And this is obviously just going off of refeed data that we've had through PEP, knowing how my body responds to certain things. So yeah, we've got that going on today, and once again, we'll wake up tomorrow and update you on how today went. A little bit extra carbs going today. We'll go over the check-in shots. For the untrained eye, like I might look pretty similar, but to use who are in the bodybuilding space, you could probably see a difference. So especially for myself, something I want you to look out for is just my delts and arms, especially, because they are my weakest muscle group. The areas that have the newest muscle tissue as well. They're the first things to get flat, but also the first things to kind of almost pop back, bring back to life. So today's shots will be like in the most muscular, for example, like you can clearly see my delts are popping a lot more compared to what they usually are, which is just a sign on me big in fullness. And once again, with big in fullness, the muscle is just up against the skin more, which makes you look more conditioned. So yeah, that is that. Day 2, 6 days out, last leg session, and I shall see you tomorrow for peak week day 3. So let's freaking get it. Goodbye. 5 days out. Let's freaking get it. So you join me at the making a pre-workout, and then making a pre-workout meal. So up 0.2 kg from yesterday. Obviously went over the targets and everything I went over yesterday. We have got the exact same plan going down today. So that will be 200 protein, 400 carb, and 50 grams of fat going down today again. So once again, just a slight touch on carbs. Same targets with 8 litres of fluid, 8 litres of salt, and then 8k steps. So a lot of 8s in there, but that is the plan. As I said, this is the kind of boring part of peak week. You know, the first few days we're simply just dropping off fatigue, priming the body for the carb load. So yeah, we've gained like, you know, 0.3 kg the other day and then 0.2 kg today. So we're up like 0.5 kilos. So most likely we're going to assess tomorrow. So once again, like the physique is just fresher today. We're just dropping off fatigue. It's just getting that little bit sharper every single day. And we'll see how the post-workout shots look today. We'll see how body weight is tomorrow morning. And if it is just continuing to trend up, we'll probably just pull back a little bit tomorrow pretty much ahead of the carb load. Start of the carb load, which will be, you know, in 2 days' time, the following day. And I'll get a separate YouTube video made up for that when we do start the carb load, and a full day of eating, most likely for that, which will be very, very exciting to see how I'm carbing up for show number 1. So yeah, 5 days out, very, very exciting. Also, what else do we have going on? We've also got push going down today. Push going down, so the last push session. I've also, I think this is the longest I went without a haircut in literally years, but just to show that it is around the corner, and I was sick last week, so looking pretty homeless right now, but you know, there's a reason for that. So yeah, that is what we've got going down. Super, super happy. Just once again, this is the boring part of peak week. The other videos will be a little bit more exciting, but still taking you through it. So as well, obviously with peak week, like being very meticulous with absolutely everything, like I'm usually, but like just more so this week. So when it comes to hydration, like usually like I don't track it to an absolute T. It's like always at least 8 liters. More so probably towards that kind of 9-10 liter range. But obviously like everything, the water that I'm cooking from my rice, you know, the water I have in my pre-workout, like it's all been tracked towards that 8 liter mark. But what I find absolutely crazy is how people struggle to get their water in. Like I am literally having to almost like stop. I literally have to stop myself from drinking more water. Like I have to limit the amount of water that I'm having when I'm having 8 liters, which is kind of crazy. And like people would, you know, the normal person that's not into bodybuilding will struggle to get like 2 liters in a day, which is absolutely crazy to me because I have like 3.5 liters before I train before like 12 o'clock midday. And that's just me like just drinking towards like my needs pretty much like when I feel like I'm thirsty. Which is absolutely crazy. And it just goes to show you when you do, you know, fuel yourself with the right nutrition, you know, the right routine, etc. It just sets you up for success. So yeah, nothing crazy to update you on. Up 0.2 kg, they're looking sharper today. And we'll just assess how the post-workout shots look today. We've got a little bit of the Nova Neuro Pump going on today, a little bit of pump for push. I've not trained this session in 2 weeks now because obviously last week I was ill with the old food poison / stomach bug, so I'm excited to get in, get a little bit more blood in the upper body as well, because the upper body still has a touch flat because of that as well, so that'll be good. So final push session going down, 5 days out, day 3 of peak week, and I shall update you on tomorrow. And then obviously the next YouTube video will be the day after that, which will be the start of the carb load. We're going to start filling up this physique, you know what I'm saying, where peak week really starts to get exciting. So same targets as yesterday, more food, less movement, last push session. Let's freaking get it. Right, boy oh boy, do I have a lot to update you on in these past 24 hours, which is very, very exciting. So I did say this part was very boring, but yeah, what are we now? What are we now? We are day 4 of peak week, and we are 4 days out. So yeah, pretty much yesterday. So obviously we've been going over the plan. Ran the higher day, 3 days in a row of running higher food. Yesterday we actually spilled over, so insert post-workout shots from yesterday. Now, as you can see, very fucking full. Like, it's not the best look by any means, but it's a look that we wanted this week. We didn't want it yesterday, we wanted it like after the kind of carb load, but once again, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So we spilled over yesterday, we just pushed the limits a bit too much, which is what we wanted to do. Multiple reasons for this, to gather a lot of data. Like, we know, what it takes for my physique to just push it a little bit far too much, and we can associate that with a body weight. Obviously, I've been weighing myself literally three times throughout the day, and weight was up a decent chunk yesterday, and we can associate that spilled look with that weight. We know, how much food, etc., takes for me to just spill over a little bit, which is really, really good, and happy with that. So yeah, spilled over yesterday, just stupidly full, very watery. So yeah, as I was kind of discussing with on the first day, associating, finding that look, associating that with a body weight as well is super, super good information to have. So, spilled over yesterday, woke up today just very, very full once again. The physique has just been pretty much brought back to life with these higher carb days though, which is what we wanted. Especially, if you've been kind of following what's last week's video, the issues we've been having, like going into peak week, I was pretty, like, not depleted, I wouldn't say depleted, but like a little bit depleted. Just obviously being ill. So just really bringing the physique back to life these last few days, loading carbs pretty heavy, not pretty heavy, but a decent amount, like I had 800 carbs going last 2 days, which just led me to spill over, which is good. So really, really full, stupidly full, just very watery, holding a lot of water right now. So today's plan, we have the lowest full day of eating that I've ate this whole prep. We have got 100 grams of carbs going in throughout the whole day today, so about 1600 calories. So today we're running 200 protein, 100 carb, and 50 fat. That is the trenches right there. We are in the goddamn trenches, and I'm here for it. So that's what we've got going on today. So obviously these last 3 days we've built up a lot of fullness. Now we're implementing a lower day of food, which is just going to help wash off all that water while still retaining that fullness. And we still are planning on, over these next 2 days, to load carbs quite heavy, and that is what will be the next YouTube video. Will be the kind of full day of eating for the carb loading. So yeah, we'll see once again where that lands us tomorrow. Like, we could wake up tomorrow with a fucking amazing look, like where I look my best, or we could wake up a bit flat, could wake up still a little bit watery. Like, once again, assessing where it is, gathering all this data, associating that with a body weight, see where we are, and then once again we'll just make the necessary adjustments as of tomorrow. So yeah, very, very excited for today. Today's trenches full day of eating. We've got the first meal going down, it is the morning, so yeah, but I'm going to wrap up the YouTube video here. That has been the first 4 days of peak week, taking you through everything we've been doing. Once again, today is a prime example, today and yesterday is a prime example of why peak week cannot be planned in advance, and it is really a case of taking it a day at a time. But hopefully you've enjoyed the first video in peak week, days 1 through 4. So the plan of action going forward for these YouTube videos, if you are watching like now and up to date, is obviously I'll get this out tomorrow, so you are up to date. And then the next YouTube video will be a full day of eating on the carb load, either Thursday or Friday, which would be like either like 2 or 3 days out. And then I'll get that uploaded probably the same day or day after, and then I will be videoing 1 day out, like vlogging, traveling. I've got a videographer as well, might just take over the second half of the video. Then I'll obviously get that uploaded like after my show. So I've only got one more video after this being uploaded before my show, which is very, very exciting. So yeah, 1 day out, traveling vlog. Everything I'm doing 1 day out, taking you through that. Obviously, I'll be staying with Josh as well, so you can kind of see the protocol, how we're assessing the meal by meal, literally making the necessary adjustments meal by meal that day. Tanning as well, which will be fun, to say the least, which will be very exciting. So yes, super, super exciting times ahead. I'm just fucking excited, man, just being present, taking it all in, enjoying it, and document it all in here for you as well. So yeah, we'll get that, and then obviously I've got a videographer for a show day video, which will be out the week or the week after the show day, which will be very, very exciting. So look out for that, keep your eyes peeled for that. Hope you enjoyed. Peak week is underway. We have got a 1600 calorie full day of eating going on today, and I shall see you when we start the carb load. So let's get it.